My beloved child, come closer, for I feel the trembling in your heart, and heaven feels it too. There is a softness resting upon this very moment, as if the air itself has paused to listen. Before you even press forward into the next breath, I want you to know this truth. Something ancient, something holy, something carrying the fragrance of eternity is about to reach you. And it is not by accident. It is not by coincidence. It is because your name has been echoing in the halls of heaven. Listen carefully, my dear one, for the next few moments are wrapped in urgency, an urgency not born from fear, but from divine timing. Heaven has allowed me to share something that was sealed for long ages, hidden behind veils of light and guarded by the archangels themselves. And now, in this very slice of time, the seal has been broken not for the world, not for a crowd, but for you. Imagine for a moment the sky above you splitting open, not with thunder, but with a whisper. An invisible wind brushing your shoulders, a warmth rising in your chest. These are not feelings of imagination. They are the signal of heaven drawing near. For earlier, yes, earlier today, a meeting was held in the high places, a gathering not seen by mortal eyes. Thrones were aligned, scrolls were lifted, and the lamps of the Lord shone clearer than crystal. And in the midst of that holy brightness stood one crafted for war and glory, Archangel Michael. He stood not as a distant figure, but as a messenger with a fire in his eyes, carrying a decree that had been delayed until this very hour. And beloved, do you understand the weight of this moment? Heaven rarely moves with haste, but when it does, destinies shift. The decision made in that meeting concerns you, your healing, your restoration, your rising. And though time in heaven is not bound as ours is, they have given me permission, brief permission, to reveal to you what was sealed. The window is narrow. The moment is delicate. Heaven's announcement sits like a drop of gold on the edge of a falling leaf, ready to fall into your hands if you catch it. Stay with me, my beloved. Do not move your heart away. For what I tell you next will unfold the mystery of that sacred meeting and the secret message Michael has carried through realms of light to reach you now. My beloved child, let us step deeper now, for the veil before us is opening wider. I want you to breathe softly as you listen, because what I am about to tell you is not a story. It is a revelation that carries the fragrance of heaven itself. Earlier, when I spoke of the meeting held for you, it was not poetic language, nor a symbolic picture. It was an event that shook the corridors of glory. Let me take your hand and walk you into that moment. In the highest realms, beyond the reach of human imagination, there stands a hall unlike anything crafted by mortal hands. Its pillars rise like living flames, its floor glows like gentle dawn, and its roof is the very breath of God stretched across eternity. In that hall, a gathering was called, urgent, weighty, full of divine seriousness. The angels took their places, their wings folding in reverent silence as the light of the throne intensified. And in the center of them all, scrolls lay sealed, each bearing the mark of the Ancient One. My child, hear me with your spirit. This meeting was not for nations, not for kingdoms, not for prophets, not for the generals of heaven. It was called with your name written across the top, Your pain was placed on the table. Your battles were discussed. Your tears were counted, weighed, and held like precious gemstones. Heaven does not summon such gatherings lightly, and when it does, something in the earth trembles. Something in the spiritual realm shifts. Something about your life was being rewritten while you felt alone and unaware. Then, through the vast brightness, one figure stepped forward, strong, radiant, unmistakable. Archangel Michael, the warrior of heaven, the protector of destinies, the one assigned to stand against the dark forces that dared to touch your life. He did not walk, he moved like a surge of holy fire, carrying both a sword and a scroll. Every angel bowed slightly as he passed, for they knew the weight of what he was about to speak. He lifted the scroll toward the throne, and a burst of light flashed across his armor. And in that moment, my beloved child, he spoke your name. Your very name echoed through the hall, not whispered, declared, spoken with authority, spoken with tenderness, spoken with a fierce commitment you may never have known you were surrounded by. When Michael speaks your name, it carries history, purpose, and every tear you've shed. He presented your case, your sleepless nights, your wounded heart, the sickness in your body, the heaviness that drains your strength, the disappointments the enemy hoped would destroy your faith. He laid it bare before the heavenly council. Nothing hidden, nothing held back, and the Father listened. The elders leaned forward. The angels paused in silence. Heaven weighed every moment of your suffering with deliberation far deeper than any earthly court. Then Michael revealed something that startled even the hosts around him. He revealed the attacks formed against your healing, the hidden battles you never knew were happening. He revealed the traps that were meant to delay your restoration, the shadows that clung to your mind, the discouragement that tried to choke your hope up. And he pleaded with heaven, let healing be released. Let restoration fall. Let this one rise again. My beloved child, imagine that. The archangel who commands legions of warriors stood before all of heaven and spoke for you. You were not overlooked. You were not forgotten. You were the center of the room. The Father turned his gaze toward the scroll, and the hall brightened. A decision was forming. A decree was approaching, and every angel felt it. Something new, something final, something sealed in holy authority. For in that moment, heaven aligned itself for your healing. This is the meeting that was held for you. This is the moment that has never been revealed until now. And the same light that shone in that hall is beginning to fall upon you even as you listen. My beloved child, come closer again, for what I share now is not just a continuation of the story. It is the unfolding of why heaven chose this exact moment to release what had been held back for so long. There is a reason the divine meeting did not happen last month, last year, or in the years when you were breaking under the weight of your battles. Everything in heaven operates by timing, not delay, and today I must help you understand why the heavenly council waited until now to release the secret announcement concerning your healing. You see, my precious one, heaven had been watching your journey long before you knew you were fighting. Every night you cried alone. Every morning you forced yourself to rise again, Every moment you questioned whether anyone understood your pain. None of it was ignored. The Father counted those cries as prayers, even when you had no words left to speak. The angel stood guard over you in the darkness, even when you felt abandoned. And Archangel Michael, yes, the very one who stood in the heavenly hall, was sent multiple times to shield your destiny when the enemy hoped to steal it. But heaven, in its infinite wisdom, waits for something you may not have understood until now. The alignment of your heart, the alignment of your spirit, the alignment of your season. There are moments in life that become divine crossroads, moments when everything you have endured suddenly makes sense. Heaven chose this moment because your spirit has reached a point of readiness. Not perfection. Not strength. Readiness. A quiet readiness born from everything you survive. The Father saw that the battles which once wounded you were now shaping your faith. He saw that the tears that once weakened your heart were now watering the soil for breakthrough. He saw that the storms meant to drown you built a resilience that no enemy could silence. Heaven waited because within you, something sacred was being formed, something that could not have existed without your journey through struggle and fire. And my beloved child, it is important that you understand this. Healing is not given when you feel strong. Healing is given when heaven sees the perfect alignment to restore you completely. Had the announcement come earlier, you would not have been able to receive its fullness. The distractions around you would have stolen, and the emotions inside you would have resisted it. But now you are standing at the threshold where all the pieces come together. It is no coincidence that your heart is listening deeply right now. It is no coincidence that you feel something stirring within your chest as these words reach you. You are in the divine moment that heaven has been waiting for. The decision has been sealed, and you were brought to this hour so that your spirit would not miss the revelation. Archangel Michael, when he stood in the heavenly hall, spoke not only of your wounds, but of your endurance. He declared that your soul had reached a place where restoration would not only heal you, but reposition you. He argued that the enemy's attacks had gone too far, that your season of waiting had reached its end, and that heaven's decree must be released without delay. And heaven agreed. That is why the secret has been allowed to reach you now. Not a minute too soon. Not a minute too late. You are standing in the exact moment where the heavens have shifted on your behalf. Everything you have been asking for, everything you have been yearning for, everything you thought heaven was silent about, this is the hour it begins to unfold. My beloved child, breathe. You are not imagining the stirring you feel. It is heaven bearing witness within you. My beloved child, open your heart even wider now. Carries the very core of the heavenly message. This is the moment when the secret announcement, the one sealed behind angelic guardians and withheld for a sacred time, finally begins to unfold before you. What I share now is not mere language. It is the echo of a decree that was spoken over your life in the presence of glory. Let your spirit listen with the same reverence heaven had when the words were first released. After Archangel Michael presented your case before the heavenly council, a deep silence fell across the hall. Not the silence of hesitation, but the silence that fills the air before a divine decision. The angels watched, their wings folded in awe, and the very atmosphere grew heavy with purpose. The Father leaned forward, and Michael unrolled the scroll he carried. On it were written the chapters of your destiny, chapters you have not yet lived, chapters you feared would never come, chapters heaven has carefully guarded. Then, with a voice that carried both thunder and tenderness, Michael began to read the decree, the very secret announcement heaven had hidden for you. And my beloved child, as he read, every heavenly being saw the truth. You were not meant to remain in pain. You were not created to live in brokenness. Your story was never designed to end in sickness, despair, or defeat. Heaven had always planned healing for you. Healing in your body, healing in your emotions, healing in your memories, healing in your spirit, healing that reaches places even you have forgotten existed. Michael's voice resonated through the hall like a clarion call. He declared that the attacks on your life, the cycles of pain, the unexplainable heaviness, the sudden fears, and the lingering wounds were not ordinary struggles. They were strategic attempts from the enemy to derail the assignment heaven placed within you. But the scroll revealed something far more powerful. Every attack formed against you had reached its expiration. Every shadow sent to torment you had been judged and overturned. And every delay surrounding your healing had been broken by the decree on the scroll. Heaven had said yes. Heaven had said now. Heaven had said restored. Then the Father lifted his hand, and a wave of light surged across the hall. It struck the scroll with such brilliance that every word written upon it came alive. Angels lifted their faces as the decree transformed from ink into living fire. This was the moment the secret changed form, from a heavenly decision into a divine command ready to descend upon you. Michael stepped forward, holding the scroll, and bowed before the throne. And the Father spoke words that made the entire hall tremble. Let the healing be released. Let what was withheld now fall like rain. Let the enemy's claims be cancelled. Let restoration come in full. The decree had been sealed. My beloved child, do you see what this means? Heaven did not simply approve your healing. It commanded it. This is why you have felt moments of unusual heaviness recently, as though something was resisting you. The spiritual realm was trembling because the enemy knew the decree was coming. He knew his grip was breaking. He knew the divine order had shifted in your favor. As soon as the Father sealed the decree, Michael was given authority to carry it out. He was charged with ensuring the healing reaches you, despite any resistance in the unseen realm. He was charged with dismantling every barrier, breaking every chain, overturning every curse, and silencing every accusation spoken against you. He was charged with restoring what was lost, reviving what was dying, and rebuilding what had been torn down. The decree placed your healing not in the hands of chance, but in the hands of the Archangel who has never lost a battle. Then, as the hall erupted in a soft, holy wind, Michael turned from the throne with the scroll in his hand. He began the descent from glory, carrying the announcement that has now reached your ears. That is why you are listening to this message right now. This is not coincidence. Heaven appointed this very moment for the secret to be revealed. You are hearing what kings and prophets were never permitted to hear. This is your moment of unveiling. But my beloved, the decree did not merely speak of healing. It spoke of elevation. It spoke of restoration. It spoke of divine turnaround. It spoke of you rising in ways your past could never predict. It spoke of your heart being revived, your strength being renewed, your purpose being awakened. And it spoke of a shift so sudden, so profound, that even you will look back and say, only heaven could have done this. This is the secret announcement Michael has carried from the heavenly hall to your very spirit. This is the decree that was sealed until now. Heaven has spoken, and nothing can silence what has been commanded over you. My beloved child, prepare your heart now. Reveals the war you never witnessed, yet it shaped every day of your life. What I am about to unfold is not spoken lightly, for these are mysteries angels whisper about and humans rarely hear. But because your healing has been decreed, heaven has allowed me to open this chapter before you. Breathe gently, for this is the part where the hidden becomes visible. After Archangel Michael descended with the decree of your healing, the atmosphere around your life shifted instantly. Though you could not see it with natural eyes, the spiritual realm erupted. The enemy had been watching closely, sensing the shift, sensing the weight of heaven's decision. There are moments when darkness trembles long before the human heart feels hope, and this was one of those moments. The decree that carried your healing was blazing like fire in the hands of Michael, and darkness hates anything that carries light. My beloved child, understand this. The enemy did not fear your strength. He feared your destiny. He feared the moment you would be healed, whole, restored, and awakened to who you truly are. And so, as the decree traveled toward your life, spiritual forces formed barriers, illusions, and resistance to delay what heaven had released. Those sudden waves of heaviness you felt, the unexplained battles, the moments of despair, the nightmares, the anxiety that came out of nowhere. Those were not coincidences. They were reactions. They were sudden panicked attempts from the enemy to intercept what was already sealed on your behalf. But what the enemy underestimated was the one sent to deliver the decree. Michael did not descend alone. Warriors of light surrounded him, each bearing weapons forged by the breath of God himself. These were not the gentle guardian angels that comfort children. These were the battle-forged ones, the ones who have stood in cosmic wars since the dawn of time. And the moment they sensed resistance, they drew their blades. You may wonder, my beloved child, why you felt such intense spiritual pressure lately. It was not because you were losing. It was because heaven was fighting for your healing. Every moment you felt weak, angels were pushing through the darkness. Every moment you felt discouraged, swords were clashing in the unseen realm. Every moment you questioned if God had forgotten you, heaven was shouting your name in war. Michael pushed through the dark clouds that gathered against your breakthrough. He struck chains you could not see, chains formed from your past, from old words spoken over you, from wounds you carried silently. He shattered them one by one, and every break echoed across the spiritual realm. You felt those moments as strange sighs of relief, sudden clarity, or unexpected peace. That was not emotional coincidence. That was heaven winning battles on your behalf. There were places in your heart that darkness tried to claim for years. Memories that wounded you. Losses that hollowed your spirit. Arguments the enemy used to convince you that healing was impossible. But when Michael reached those places, he did not hesitate. With the authority given to him by the decree, he drove the enemy back, cleansing the spiritual ground around your life. The forces that tried to torment your nights fled. The shadows that used to lean over your thoughts shattered like glass under the light. My beloved child, hear this with your whole heart. The battle for your healing was fierce because the healing itself is powerful. Heaven fought so strongly for you because what you carry matters deeply. You are not insignificant. You are not forgotten. You are not a background soul in the kingdom. Your healing will birth things in your life that darkness fears. That is why the enemy resisted. That is why heaven insisted. When Michael finally broke through every barrier, the decree of your healing began to glow even brighter. Its light penetrated your atmosphere, entering places in your spirit long closed by pain. And in that moment, something holy happened. Heaven declared the battle finished, not postponed, not delayed. Finished. You may not feel the full unfolding yet, but your spirit knows it. Something within you has felt a shift, a stirring, a quiet knowing that something old has ended and something new has begun. That is the evidence of victory. That is the whisper of heaven telling you the war is over. Now, beloved child, there is something I must tell you with gentle love. When heaven fights for you, and when the decree of your healing is released into the earth, it becomes a sacred responsibility to spread that light. It becomes part of your divine duty to carry this message further, to allow others to step into the hope you are stepping into now. If this message has touched you, lifted you, or awakened something within your soul, let your response become a testimony. Your engagement, your sharing, your uplifting of this message becomes part of the holy echo that sends light into the world, drawing others toward the healing heaven longs to reveal to them. My beloved child, the war for your healing has been fought, and heaven has won. My beloved child, come near once more. That carries a depth that only the humbled, the wounded, and the chosen can truly feel. What I am about to reveal may bring a stirring to your chest, for it is not every day that a human soul hears what I am about to say. It is not every day that a mortal learns that their name was spoken in heaven. But today, this truth belongs to you. When the battle for your healing was completed and the decree secured, Michael did not simply carry the scroll toward your life. He returned briefly to the heavenly hall. And this return was not a formality. It was purposeful. It was sacred. It was deeply personal. For when he stepped into the light of the throne once more, the Father asked a question that made every angel lean forward, every elder lift their head, every watcher turn their gaze. Whose healing has been sealed? Those words echoed like rolling thunder through eternity. And my beloved child, hear this with the fullness of your heart. Michael spoke your name, not with haste, not with distance. He spoke it with reverence. He spoke it with a smile only angels understand. He spoke it as though he was proud to carry your story, proud to deliver your healing, proud to fight for your destiny. Your name, your precious, often misunderstood name, rose through that hall like incense. Angels who had never heard of you before bowed their heads as your name passed through the air. It became a sound wrapped in light, a vibration that traveled across realms. And in that instant, Heaven aligned itself around you. Not around your weakness. Not around your failures. Around you, the one God chose, the one heaven defended, the one destiny refuses to abandon. My child, you must understand the weight of a name spoken in heaven. Names are not labels there. They are declarations. They are stories. They are scrolls containing every moment of your life, your first tears, your quiet prayers, your moments of strength, your memories of breaking, your hidden victories, your buried dreams. When your name was spoken, all of heaven saw you fully, not as the world sees you, not as your past sees you, but as heaven has always seen you. Chosen, beloved, and destined. Michael then unrolled the scroll before the Father, and your story shone like a river of gold. The chapters yet to come gleamed with healing. The pages not yet lived shimmered with restoration. The Father's eyes rested upon every word of your destiny with approval and affection. You must know this, my beloved child. Heaven does not make careless decisions. If healing has been written into your scroll, it is because heaven sees you healed already. The spiritual realm sees your future as clearly as you see your past, and what they see is beautiful. Then, something even more extraordinary happened. The Father placed his hand over your name. Light flowed from his palm into the scroll, sealing it, blessing it, and marking it as unchangeable. This was not simply a decree of healing. This was the restoration of identity. Heaven was not only healing your body, your heart, your spirit, it was restoring the truth of who you are. Every false identity the world tried to place on you began to fall away. Every lie spoken over your life began to dissolve. Every moment of shame, every wound from rejection, every season where you felt unseen, all of it lost its power in that single moment. Because when heaven confirms your name, no earthly voice can diminish it again. And so, when Michael turned away from the throne, still carrying the decree, he did not only carry healing, he carried the revelation of who you truly are. That is why you have felt the stirring inside you recently. That is why something in your spirit has been waking up. Something beyond your understanding has been unfolding. You are not just being healed, you are being restored to your true identity. My beloved child, your name is known in heaven. Your life is marked by divine intention. Your healing is not an afterthought. It is part of the story heaven has written for you since before you took your first breath. If your heart is ready to step into the urgency of heaven's window, to understand why this moment carries the weight of time itself, then speak the words. Write part 7. My beloved child, let us walk together into, for this is where the urgency of heaven begins to take shape around your spirit. What I am about to share may feel intense, but it is spoken with love, clarity, and the weight of eternity. You have heard of the decree. You have heard of the meeting. You have heard of your name being spoken in heaven. But now you must understand the divine mystery of the 4 to 5 second window. This moment, this sacred sliver of time, holds meaning far deeper than the countdown of a clock. It is a reflection of how heaven releases its decisions into the earth. My beloved child, time does not rush in heaven. There is no pressure. There is no aging. There is no decay. But when heaven interacts with the earth, time becomes a vessel. It becomes a doorway. And sometimes heaven opens a window so precise, so spiritually sharp, that missing it would mean postponing what was meant to begin now. You are in such a window at this very moment. When Michael descended carrying the decree of your healing, the forces of darkness trembled because they recognized something you have not fully understood yet. Once a decree leaves the throne, it must be received within a moment of willingness. Heaven opens the window, but the heart must step through it. That is why you felt a stirring today. That is why your spirit felt called to this message. That is why something deep inside you whispered, "Pay attention." Heaven was aligning your heart with the window. And in that alignment, your role became simple. Listen, receive, believe, and respond. The symbolic urgency of the 4 to 5 seconds represents the moment between revelation and manifestation. It is the divine threshold, the place where heaven waits for your spirit to recognize what is being handed to you. This window does not close because heaven is impatient. It closes because spiritual timing is precise. The enemy watches for hesitation, because hesitation opens cracks where doubt can enter. But heaven wants you to step boldly, confidently, instantly into what is being given. Imagine Michael standing before you now, holding the decree that carries your healing. His armor still carries the marks of the battle fought for you. His wings still glow with the light of the throne. His eyes are filled with the unwavering certainty of divine victory. And in his hand is the scroll, pulsing with holy power. He is not reading it. He is offering it. But the offering must be met with acceptance. This is the 4 to 5 second window. It is a spiritual representation of immediacy. It is heaven's way of telling your heart, this moment matters. This moment is not ordinary. This moment has been prepared for you. When heaven opens a window like this, everything in the unseen realm pays attention. Angels pause. The enemy recoils. Destiny leans forward. Your spirit awakens. This is why something inside you feels unusually alert right now. Your soul recognizes that heaven is standing at your doorstep. My beloved child, you may not realize it, but there were many moments in the past where heaven wanted to release things to you. Blessings, healing, opportunities, but your heart was too tired, too wounded, or too distracted to receive them. Heaven never judged you for that. Heaven waited, patiently, lovingly, watching over you until the day your spirit would finally reach the readiness you carry now. That is why this moment is so rare. That is why the window appears now and not before. You are finally in the place where what heaven is giving can take root and grow. This 4 to 5 second window also symbolizes something else. The enemy's final attempt to steal your healing collapses when you respond in faith. You have no idea how close the enemy came to convincing you that nothing would ever change. How close he came to dulling your spirit, to silencing your hope, to convincing you that heaven had forgotten your name. But the moment you leaned into this message, the moment your heart whispered yes, the window opened and the enemy's grip loosened. He cannot withstand a heart aligned with heaven. Do you understand now, my beloved child? This is not about counting seconds. This is about recognizing that heaven has placed you inside a divine opening. A moment where all the realms agree. It is time. Your healing is ready. Your breakthrough is ready. Your restoration is ready. Heaven has made its decision, and now your spirit must answer. And perhaps you feel a warmth in your chest right now, or a pressure behind your eyes, or a sense of clarity rising inside you. These are not emotions. They are confirmations. They are the fingerprints of the holy touch in your spirit, telling you that you are indeed standing within heaven's appointed hour. The window is open, my beloved child. The moment is sacred. And what comes next will show you how heaven turns its clock in your favor. My beloved child, draw near once more, for carries the holy weight of time itself. What I am about to reveal is the turning of the heavenly clock, the moment where eternity leans into your life and shifts the direction of your days. This is not something that happens often. This is not something heaven releases casually. When the heavenly clock turns, entire seasons change, chains break without warning, doors open that were sealed shut for years, and destinies move forward with unstoppable force. And right now, my beloved child, that turning has begun for you. After the 4 to 5 second window opened in spirit, the realms of heaven shifted in synchronization. The great clock, one not made of gears or metal, but of divine purpose and eternal timing, began to move. Every tick of that clock is a command. Every movement is a decree. When it turns, angels rearrange assignments. Paths are illuminated. Old chapters close. New chapters rise. And as it moved for you, everything connected to your life began to realign. You may not see it yet, but you might feel it. A subtle stirring. A quiet certainty. A sense that something in the atmosphere around you has changed. That is not imagination, my child. That is the echo of heaven adjusting your timeline. There are days in your life that once belonged to sorrow, but they have now been reclaimed as days of healing. There are future moments that once carried heaviness, but now they carry promise. With the turning of heaven's clock, the very story of your future has been written in your favor. When the clock shifted, the decree in Michael's hand responded. It glowed brighter, alive, active, pulsing with new authority. Every word written for your restoration began to vibrate with the power of divine timing. Heaven is not only healing you, it is accelerating you. What once took years will now take months. What once took months will now fall into place with surprising ease. The slow, suffocating delays that followed you for so long have been broken. The stagnation that made you wonder if life would ever move forward has been lifted. You have stepped into a divine current, and it is carrying you into the season heaven chose for you long ago. My beloved child, even the angels felt the shift. Those assigned to your journey moved into new positions. Some who watched over you in past seasons stepped back, their work complete. New ones took their place. Angels of healing, angels of restoration, angels of breakthrough. They now stand around you, waiting to assist with the unfolding of everything heaven has marked for your life. If you have felt unusual peace, unusual clarity, unusual strength rising from nowhere, it is because these angels have drawn closer to you, preparing the atmosphere around your life for change. And let me tell you something deeply sacred. When the heavenly clock turns, The voice of the enemy loses its power. His accusations lose their grit. His lies lose their momentum. His plans crumble like dust under the weight of heaven's timing. The enemy fought hard to keep this moment from you, because he knew that if heaven turned the season in your favor, he could no longer interfere. And now, as the clock moves, he stands powerless, forced to watch the story unfold according to heaven's will, not his intentions. You are stepping into a season where help will come from unexpected places. People you thought were gone forever will re-enter your life with renewed purpose. Opportunities you imagined were lost will return in better form. Doors that once refused to open will swing wide without resistance. This is the effect of the heavenly clock ticking. It does not just bring change, it brings restoration wrapped in holy precision. There will come moments in the coming days when you will pause and ask yourself, why does this feel different? Why is this suddenly easier? Why do I feel hope again? And the answer will always be the same, because heaven turned its clock, and your life aligned with its rhythm. My beloved child, hear this deeply. You are not moving into a new chapter. You are stepping into a new divine era. The old season is not merely behind you. It has been spiritually closed. The pages of pain have been sealed. The pages of delay have been folded. The pages of confusion have been archived. You are stepping into the part of your story that carries light, healing, restoration, and divine appointment. This is the turning of the heavenly clock. It has begun, and nothing can reverse it. My beloved child, come close again, for the moment where Archangel Michael himself steps into the light of this message and speaks directly over your life. Everything you have heard so far has led to this point. The decree has been written. The war has been won. The heavenly clock has turned. And now the Archangel who fought for you, who stood for you, who carried your name into the courts of heaven, is ready to release his final words over your spirit. These words are not gentle whispers. They are not mere comforts. They are declarations forged in the fires of divine authority. As the heavenly clock completed its shift, Michael stood upon the threshold between realms, holding the scroll that carries your healing and restoration. His wings unfurled like rivers of living light, his armor reflecting the glory of the throne, and his presence filled the atmosphere with reverence and power. And in that sacred moment, he turned his gaze toward your life. He looked not at your weakness, not at your past, not at your wounds, but at your destiny. He looked at the fullness of who you are meant to become, and he smiled with a warrior's pride. Then, in a voice that carries across realms, he began to speak. His words were clear, resonant, strong enough to shake the shadows that lingered near your life. Beloved one, heaven has spoken on your behalf. No force in darkness can challenge what has been decreed. No chain can remain unbroken. No sickness can keep its grip. No sorrow can claim your future. By the authority of the throne, your healing is released. By the word of the Father, your restoration is set in motion. What was against you has fallen. What tried to silence you has been dismantled. What sought to delay you has been overturned. My beloved child, when Michael spoke these words, they did not simply drift through the air. They went into your spirit. They penetrated the unseen realms of your life. They confronted the places inside you where hope was fading. They reached the corners of your heart still wounded by past battles. And they awakened something that had been sleeping inside you for far too long. His next words came like a holy command. You will rise, not by your strength, but by heaven's strength within you. You will walk in healing, for the decree has sealed it. You will step into purpose, for the timing is aligned. You will reclaim what was lost, for restoration has been granted. And no darkness will stand before you, for heaven stands behind you. In that moment, the scroll in his hand glowed brighter, its light extending toward the earthly plane. And Michael lowered the scroll, as if placing it before your very soul. It was not symbolic. It was not imagined. It was real in the spirit. A transfer, a release, a divine passing of heavenly authority into your life. Then, with a gentleness that only an archangel of war could possess, he spoke again. Walk forward with courage. Lift your head. The season of shadows is over. Step into the healing you have been given. Step into the restoration heaven has written. Step into the identity the Father has sealed. I stand with you. The hosts of heaven stand with you. You are not alone, and you never were. My beloved child, these words were not poetry. They were not hopeful thoughts. They were truth. They were decree. They were destiny. Michael's final words over you were not a prediction. They were a verdict. Heaven has ruled in your favor. The struggles that once defined you have no authority to continue their reign. The wounds that once dictated your future have lost their voice. The fears that whispered lies into your spirit have been silenced. This is the moment heaven has been preparing you for. And now, beloved child, the time has come for the blessing that seals everything. The final benediction that closes this divine message with heaven's peace resting upon your soul. My beloved child, turn gently into this final part, is the closing breath of this revelation, the sacred seal upon everything heaven has spoken over your life. Allow your heart to rest as I speak now, for these final words are not rushed, nor are they heavy. They are soft, warm, and meant to settle upon your spirit like a mantle of peace. My child, the decree has been released, the battle has been won. Your name has been spoken in the highest places, and the heavenly clock has turned in your favor. Now it is time for you to stand in the quiet glow of what has been given to you. Healing is not something you must chase. Restoration is not something you must force. Everything heaven intended for you is already unfolding, already surrounding you, already breathing into the atmosphere around your life. You are stepping into a new season not with trembling, but with assurance. You are stepping forward not in fear, but in the calm, knowing that heaven has gone before you. May the peace of the Father rest upon you now. May the strength of the Son rise within you. May the presence of the Holy Spirit wrap around you like a blanket of dawn. And may the angels who were assigned to your healing remain close, guarding every step you take from this day forward. Walk gently, my child, for you walk now in the favor of heaven. And as this message comes to its sacred close, let your heart remember that spreading light is part of your calling. If this word has touched you, if heaven has whispered to you through it, then let your voice carry it further. Share it. Lift it. Let it travel like a spark into the lives of others who are waiting for their own moment with heaven. In doing so, you join the work of the kingdom itself. Amen.